The Weekly, hosted by the editors of Pro Builder and Pro Remodeler, starts now.
So I'm here today with Rob King, the new Marketing and Communications Director for NARI.
I just started here, and so I'm eager to publicize all of the great services and products that NARI offers to remodelers.
So you're a data guy. How does data and emotional intelligence factor into your marketing and communication strategy?
Once you start having feelings, especially negative feelings, it can be hard to separate that from what you're doing. So, one of the other factors I like to use in these types of discussions is data, and trying to use the data to make decisions, as opposed to just feeling like, well, I think we ought to, send out our emails with this subject line because I think that would work better. We can test two different subject lines and see which one performs better, and then do the better one, the one that actually performed better in the future, even if I didn't think it would work, even if I didn't like it. I'd rather use the one that works better, that people open more. So trying to rely on data kind of takes the emotion out of it to some extent, and helps us make more objective decisions. Because you always know, like if lots of people are signing up for the conference, then obviously something is working. But if you can dive deeper and find out maybe who is signing up for the conference and what messages are resonating with a particular audience, then you can understand a little bit more about why it's working and what it's working, and is that the group that you really want to get at the meeting. And so you can kind of use the data to justify your creative direction, but you can also use it to sort of inspire. Like if you see that some people are signing up even though you aren't really targeting that particular group, maybe you can start to reach more directly to that group.
So with data and marketing analytics just getting so much stronger, how do you also make room for creativity and have some of that out-of-the-box thinking?
I like to, when I work with graphic designers and creative people to come up with the designs, I try to give them sort of directional guidance as opposed to really specific guidance. Because if I have found over the years that if I tell a graphic designer to make something bold, they'll make it bold and it'll be what I asked for. But if I tell them to give it more emphasis, they might change the color and make it glow, give it a glowing background and make it pop in a way that I would never have thought they could do, that might make it really be better than I would have thought.
Has there ever been a time when you were just super surprised by what the data brought back to you? Like you had this vision of your head of how things were going, and then it was like, oh, I had no clue that these people are actually paying attention to this.
So an example from my dental experience, I was at the American Dental Association, and we were looking at the data about what do people search, what are dentists searching for on our website. And so we got the top 10 list, and month after month, there was a topic on there called antibiotic prophylaxis, which basically means it's dentists searching for whether or not they should prescribe antibiotics for a patient who has had a knee replacement, because that idea got out there in the medical literature that patients with knee replacements had more vulnerable immune systems. So if they were going to have a root canal or some kind of more invasive procedure, maybe they should have an antibiotic first in order to reduce the possibility of them getting an infection from it. And so month after month, dentists were searching this out. So we were able to leverage that because we had some content, education content about that. We were able to kind of make that more prominent in our advertising because we knew that dentists were looking for it. It's not something we would have ever thought. As lay people, we were thinking more like they would want info about fluoride or, wisdom tooth extraction or something like that. But that was definitely a surprise to us. But we were able to kind of leverage that and make it a little bit more of a thing in our media going forward.
Oh, did that lead to greater engagement from the professionals?
Yeah, overall it did.
Wow, I never think that news were somehow related to dental care. That's crazy.
Right, and it wasn't like a blip, like from a news article that came out. It was like a consistent trend, and so that's why it's so good to look at data when you find little interesting, unexpected patterns like that.
Thanks to Rob for joining me on the weekly, and thanks to you for tuning in. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to like and subscribe.